Hi, Rick Santoro. Hello, Richard Santoro. I'm Ricky!
Junk food supper.
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 Food supper. Junk food
Junk
supper.
food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper. Junk
Welcome
food
to
supper.
Junk Food Supper. This is the podcast where we get together every single week and, more or less, and we talk about movies that you might find weird, movies that you might find fun, movies you might find interesting in some capacity or another. We also talk about other things like Music League. I am Parker, joined traditionally...
The penis, Parker!
joined by Sean Byron, who owns the Drops machine.
Will that drop be an every week occurrence? Too early to tell, but if my magic 8-ball is any indication, I think all signs are pointing to yes currently.
I really thought I would be safe from that drop. When I saw that movie, when it came out like 6 years ago, I was like, man, thank heavens Sean and Kevin will never see this movie and they'll never know about the penis Parker drop.
You didn't count on me having a man on the inside.
I did not count on that, no. My luck ran out.
Yeah, well, it was quite a conspiracy, you know. I think between me and the drop provider, and I guess that's only two. Is that really a conspiracy? Maybe not.
No, we need 5 people to be a conspiracy. They make that explicit in the movie we'll be talking about later, Snake Eyes. That's a line of dialogue they drop.
Is that really the textbook definition? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I thought it was an interesting line, but I didn't look it up.
Yeah.
I trust De Palma.
Yeah, well, and I trust Nic Cage's, knowledge of legal statutes.
Oh, yeah. I definitely trust that.
I'm guessing that he just probably improvised that line, right?
Very possibly. I bet he's probably improvising a good amount of stuff.
Yeah.
Brian De Palma was worried about like lenses and split diopter shots and stuff. I don't think he cared one bit about what was going on in Nic Cage's part of that movie.
And even if he did, I mean, do you think one man could rein in Nic Cage and tell him what to say, even on a movie set? Probably not.
Not at all. No. Can't be done. But yeah, so how are things with you this week? We're heading into one of the more worthless American holidays, Thanksgiving. Are you planning on doing anything?
Not really. I mean, I will appreciate the quote-unquote time off from work, but I've got one of those stupid jobs where like the amount of work that needs to get done in a given month doesn't really seem to change at all. So I won't be working on Wednesday or Thursday or even Friday, but that just means next week is going to be complete bullshit where I have to work twice as hard.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes when we have holidays off. Oddly enough, not for Thanksgiving, since we don't publish a newspaper on that day. We do get an actual day off, but most of the time we just have to do 2 newspapers in one day. So I understand where you're coming from.
You don't publish a newspaper on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, that is correct. Which is sad because like traditionally the Thanksgiving Day newspaper is like the biggest newspaper of the year for many years. It was like that. But now that a lot of newspapers are being delivered by mail, we can't publish on days when there is no mail.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So I think tomorrow is technically our big fancy newspaper with like all the advertisements and stuff in it.
I mean, how will I learn who's got the award-winning place settings in your community, or whatever Thanksgiving related news I might be interested in?
I'll just text you whatever happens tomorrow that we would have run in Thursday's newspaper. I'll just text it to you.
Okay.
I'll give you the scoops.
Maybe some recipes for candied yams.
Yeah, I'll give you those recipes. I'll let you know what if the mayor did any ribbon cuttings.
Okay, all right. Tell me what to put in my cornucopia this year.
I will. I'll let you know all that information and more.
Are dried cranberries still on trend as a seasonal decor?
Oh, most certainly. Cranberries are never going to go out of style.
Okay, good. All right. You know what I do like in the autumn time is at Trader Joe's, at least, they bust out these cinnamon scented brooms that I guess is made out of like the cinnamon plant itself, right? I think it's
it's not a functional broom, is it?
Well, I probably could kind of be. It looks like one of those witches' brooms that's made out of like straw.
Okay.
And I guess I don't know the origin of the straw, if it's a regular type of straw that is being soaked in a cinnamon oil, or does a cinnamon plant have some kind of straw-like protrusion that they're actually using? Who knows, but it smells delicious.
Okay. That does sound intriguing. I might have to travel to one of those places and pick one of those up.
If you would like your living room to smell like cinnamon all the time, I think it's probably the quickest path to making that happen.
I would like that. I mean, usually, like, my house, 11 months out of the year smells like Nag Champa because I really like that stuff and I burn incense all the time. But for 1 month out of the year, I mix it up and I go with whatever is like going on holiday wise, usually in the fall because I like pumpkin pie scented stuff. But yeah, this sounds good. This might replace pumpkin pie in the rotation.
This many years into the show, and I'm learning now that you're a filthy hippie.
Well, that is true. That is true.
Nag Champa over there. You're doing TM. What's next, man?
I like the smell a great deal. I just like to relax during entertainment. I like to relax during relaxation. I think is
sure
is the takeaway with that.
I think I actually do have a couple boxes of Nag Champa, so I can't hate on it too much.
Yeah, it's just delightful. Also, this many years in, and little Shinji still doesn't 100% understand the concept of going outside to pee. So I gotta get the strongest Nag Champas to cover up his occasional accidents. So it's functional as well as providing a nice hippie haven for myself.
Sure. I get it. Other than that, though, other than sniffing cinnamon, not too much to report over here. I feel like, I got to be honest with you, Bowman, I'm feeling a bit down this week. I don't know if it's the grim nature of our new world is starting to hit me. It could be that Music League has been down all day. That's certainly weighing heavily on me. Could be that my man Hoshiryu blew it on the final day of the November Boss show. He lost the title to Koto fucking Zakara, of all guys. I don't know. I'm feeling down.
That's a sumo man? Couple of sumo mans?
Couple of sumo dudes, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, what can you do? Koto Zakara's got that giant body where it looks like he's got 4 tits. It's almost not fair.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this time of year does that. Like, this is traditionally the most depressing time of year. So, like, there's, you're the farthest away from Halloween. Spring is months away. So.
Yeah. No baseball.
No baseball. The Royal Rumble's still months away,
Yeah.
It's nothing going on right now.
I did scoop up a half pound of creme brulee flavored fudge at the Burbank Farmers Market, and that stuff was delicious.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
I would be very interested in that.
Sold to me directly by a sweet old lady who I presume made it in her own kitchen.
It's been a while since I've picked up any fudge. I was on a Turkish Delight kick for a while.
What's up with the Turkish Delight?
It's really good. It's like chewy. It's like kind of like, it's hard to describe because it's not like anything else, but it's like a little fruity. You can get them like where they're like kind of nutty. It's like a little,
is it like a nougat?
Kinda, yeah. It's like, it's got that consistency where it's like, yeah, real chewy, kind of melts in your mouth, kind of a thing. Kind of like a big fancy milk dud that's log shaped.
Okay. And these are actually Turkish in origin, or am I going to find out that it's some kind of racist slur to call them a Turkish Delight?
I do believe they come from the former Ottoman Empire, which would make them Turkish in nature, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, they're good. We actually last time we were in Palm Springs a few months ago, we picked up some Turkish Delight there. There's like a little Mediterranean type restaurant, and their Turkish Delight was pretty good.
I like the sound of that.
Speaking of which, I even believe I didn't tell you this. In Bakersfield, I found a place that sells date shakes not too long ago.
Okay, all right. So you don't have to go all the way down to Palm Springs anymore.
True, I can just drive an hour south and pick up a nice date shake. And these date shakes, the recipe up north, a little bit different. The dates and the chocolates are like mixed a little bit more finely. They're not like the big chunks that you'll find in Palm Springs. It's pretty interesting what they got going on there locally in Bakersfield.
I feel like, I mean, a lot of people might consider the date shake to be strictly regional to the, the Palm Desert area, the Joshua Tree area. I feel like California should embrace date shakes as a statewide treat. I don't know, maybe that's just me.
I think so. I mean, what's like the number one thing in California now? Like almonds or whatever? Like,
yeah.
Dates are way better.
Avocado toast, I guess would be the stereotype, right?
Yeah. We got to get rid of that. As a state, we need to come together and start eating dates and drinking those date shakes.
I do date toast if you need to compromise. Give me some kind of date-based jelly. I'll spread that on some rye bread. Why not?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Maybe sneak a little butter in there too.
Yeah. A lot of the Airbnbs down there in like the Palm Springs, Joshua Tree area, they advertise that like they'll be like, come check out this bungalow, rent our bungalow. It's on the date farm, walk around and pick dates. And that sounds pretty good. I haven't done that yet, but
yeah,
I would
have a date night, with Jennifer.
a date night.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan. But have you seen any movies this week? You going out to the theater or anything?
No. Would I do that?
That's not for you.
No, not this guy.
Okay.
I watched Typhoon Club, mid-'80s Japanese drama about teens in junior high school, I think. That was not that great, kind of weird. I think that's the only thing that I watched outside of my homework for the show.
Okay. Not interested in seeing Gladiator or Wicked?
I mean, I want to be interested in Wicked. I love Oz, and I'm kind of curious if they built any cool sets or like if there's going to be anything about that movie that's like visually appealing to me. But I did try to watch like one of the songs on Letterman because the Letterman YouTube channel like reposted an old clip of some of the performers from Wicked doing one of the songs, from the stage version on the Late Show, and I couldn't get 30 seconds into this song. It was so irritating to me.
Yeah, I saw the stage show and I walked out at intermission, and then I learned that this new movie is a part 1 and part 2 is coming out at a later time, and so they've stretched out like the end. Like this movie only goes up to like the intermission basically, and despite the fact that it's a 3-hour long movie, and so I just can't do it. Like I couldn't take an hour and a half of that movie, much less 3 hours to only see half of it. So I don't think I'm going to be able to see this.
Yeah, and I mean, I like musicals in general, but I do think that this maybe belongs in kind of a newer camp of musicals that just something aesthetically about them does not appeal to me.
Yeah, that's understandable. I like some newer musicals. I like that Greatest Showman.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that.
But yeah, some of them are pretty weak.
And then Gladiator 2, I mean, I'll probably stream it eventually. It doesn't seem very essential. I don't think it's getting great reviews. Just doesn't really seem like a priority right now. Yeah,
I feel the same way.
Did you go out for anything though this past week?
I don't think so. No, I think that I wanted to. I meant to. Like I wanted to see Anora again before it left theaters, but I missed it sadly. It didn't have a very long run here, but so I just stayed home. I haven't seen anything.
Watching any television shows?
Well, yeah, I've been doing my rewatch of Rock of Love and I Love Money, the greatest.
Oh, really? Is that on YouTube or something?
Yeah, I think Rock of Love is on like pretty much every single streaming site. And then I Love Money, which is a spinoff of Rock of Love, is on Pluto.
Okay, so these are legit copies. You're getting full pixels, not just some dude, copied it off his TiVo or whatever from the early 2000s.
Yeah, as full as possible. I mean, they haven't, as of yet, done an Ultra HD remaster of these shows, but yeah, it is standard definition. And on Amazon Prime, you can see the uncensored version with all the extra boobies. So
Oh, wow.
that's a delight.
That's kind of new. I didn't even know that they had that available.
Yeah, I think that's how they were released on DVD, is uncensored. So I think that's the version that is on streaming, or at least on Amazon. But yeah, they're wonderful shows. Wonderful shows. I've learned that in the past few years, there have actually been like some reunions of some of these shows that I just totally missed. Like VH1 hosted a, 10 or 15 years later, Where Are They Now sort of a thing not too long ago. So I need to get cable just to be kept in the loop about that kind of stuff. But they're wonderful TV shows. Horrible people doing horrible things. I just love to watch it.
Yeah, I had my time with those shows. I don't think I would be that interested in going back to them as a full-fledged adult now, but in their heyday, it was fun to see these people doing bad things for sure.
Yeah, it's just like very comforting, like New York yelling at people and like Frank the Entertainer, like sucking toes and stuff like this. Like, it's just comfortable for me. I just like it. It's like when other people watch Star Wars, I think. Rock of Love is my Star Wars. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I think that's a fully justifiable statement that nobody would ever question.
Well, it's just my preference.
Well, speaking of preferences in viewing, I think we should maybe transition into our first segment here, which would be talking about the new theatrical releases in American cinemas, not international, unfortunately. We're keeping it strictly domestic in the month of December.
I think that's a very good segue, and I like it.
Okay, well then let's do exactly that. Let's look at this calendar, see what's coming out in December, and see what of it we are at all interested in.
The first thing that's coming out is Y2K. It's a new A24 horror film. Have you seen the trailer for this at all?
Is this a horror film?
It's like a horror comedy.
The byline here says it's a 2024 American disaster comedy.
The trailer makes it look like sort of a horror comedy type of a thing. Sort of like in it takes place on December 31st, 1999. And it's like, what if like all of our fears came true that night and electronics did decide to attack and kill us because that was what we were all afraid of for some reason at the time.
And I don't think that we were afraid that electronics would attack and kill us. Well, I think it was maybe just more that they would fail,
Yeah. But there were like a lot of fears of like planes falling out of the sky and like things blowing up and stuff like that. But this movie is sort of like Maximum Overdrive, where like, computers are actually like getting up and walking around and trying to kill people and stuff like that.
Yeah. I did see the trailer. I am interested in this. I like Kyle Mooney, all right. I think he's a funny guy. And I know that Tim Heidecker has a smallish, I think, role in this. And yeah, the premise sounds funny. Trailer looked good. I was alive for this, so it'll be fun to flash back.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think like just even if it's bad, it will be fun to see people wearing those 1999 fashions. Like hopefully they get a lot of that stuff right. 'Cause that's mostly why I'm interested in this. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be all right. In the trailer, there is a shot of like Fred Durst. I guess Fred Durst is in the movie. And this weird like revisionist history nostalgia goggles thing that's happening where like Fred Durst is cool and people are saying he was always cool is like really fucking crazy to me because that guy was a fucking cornball that we all made fun of for fucking 20 years. So I don't understand why all of a sudden it's like, oh no, actually, yeah, Fred Durst is like great and we love him. Like,
No, I think Limp Bizkit was the classic example of a band that felt like it was dropped on MTV and nobody asked for it. Like I couldn't find a single person that was legitimately interested in them or their music. It was just kind of foisted upon us.
yeah. And I think even the people who like did listen to them, like did so for like 9 months and then were like, oh yeah, I'm over that phase now. Like I'm on to Coldplay now and the Killers or whatever, you know, like I don't get this thing where he's suddenly cool. But,
also coming out though is a movie called Night Bitch. And that's a pretty catchy title, Night Bitch.
Yep.
This is a black comedy body horror movie written and directed by Marielle Heller, who I don't know, but she acted in The Queen's Gambit and directed The Diary of a Teenage Girl and some other stuff. This is a movie about Amy Adams as a stay-at-home mother who sometimes transforms into a dog. And that sounds fun, right? Like a kind of a female werewolf kind of a thing, maybe with a comedic element.
Yeah, there's been like a buzz about this movie for a while, probably because it's got such a cool premise. And I haven't seen a trailer or anything like that or know anything about it, but just based on this premise, and according to Wikipedia, Jessica Harper's in it. So based on those two things, I will see it on day one.
Yeah.
But speaking of werewolf people.
Oh, yeah.
There's this movie Werewolves that's coming out. It's directed by Stephen Miller. I don't know what else he has done. Not much, it seems like.
He looks like he would hang out with Fred Durst, though.
Absolutely, he does. But it stars Frank Grillo, the star of many of the Purge movies and some of the Captain America movies. And this has a fun premise where all of a sudden one night a full moon came out and where like half the population turned into werewolves and ran amok. And then the next day they reverted back to their human form. And now I guess once a year, everybody just turns into werewolves for a night. And so it's basically The Purge, but with werewolves. And that fucking rules. I'm super into that idea. So I'm stoked for this movie.
That sounds fun to me. I see Lou Diamond Phillips listed on the cast list. Yeah, I like a werewolf. I like a Purge-style approach to the story. I also don't know much about this Stephen C. Miller's career, but looks like he did that Silent Night in 2012. That was like a remake of the original Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh, yeah, with A Clockwork Orange. He was in that movie, I think.
Malcolm McDees.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like this fun take on werewolves. Like in January, that new Wolfman, the Universal Wolfman movie's coming out, and that looks like the biggest piece of dog shit I've ever seen. So give me fun, crazy werewolf movies instead.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Well, would you also be into a movie called Oh, Canada?
I actually might be. It says here that it was directed by my man Kino Lorber, my favorite director. So prolific.
And co-directed by Paul Schrader.
He's also one of my guys, yeah.
Yeah, starring Richard Gere, Uma Thurman, and a bunch of other people. The story delves into the life of a tormented documentary filmmaker on the brink of death. That doesn't sound very fun. But, I think in general, Paul Schrader has earned our attention. And whenever he's putting something else out, it seems like it has the potential to be very interesting. So I don't know much about this. I've not seen the trailer. Wouldn't really consider myself to be a huge gearhead, but I might check this out.
Yeah, I'll check this out. I like Paul Schrader. He's still got like some bangers that I haven't seen, like early bangers that I need to get around to. But anytime I do watch one of his movies, I pretty much always like it. So, yeah, I'll check this out. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got a big one here. A big blockbuster film called Kraven the Hunter. This is a spin-off of Spider-Man. You know Spider-Man, Peter Parker. You know him?
Sup, penis, Parker?
This is a movie that was supposed to come out like 3 years ago during the pandemic and kept getting pushed back further and further. It is a solo movie about one of probably Spider-Man's 8th most important villain, I would say. And it stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, who was in Godzilla and Avengers Part 2 and a bunch of other stuff. I like Kraven the Hunter. I think he's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, despite the fact that he's kind of low on the importance totem pole. This movie looks weird. It kind of just looks like a John Wick movie or something. So I don't know if that's going to help it or harm it when it comes to being good or people wanting to go see it. But I don't know. Just looks like a normal ass action movie, basically. I don't know. Have you seen anything about this?
I did not know this was a thing. I mean, I know of the character Kraven the Hunter. I'm not like a huge Kraven guy or anything like that, but I didn't know that they were making a movie. It seems like this director has done a few things, but nothing that I've seen, so I don't really have too much of an opinion on him. But it does feel like there is kind of a ongoing problem with action movies in that a lot of them these days do kind of look and feel like John Wick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, those are very popular and mostly good movies. So yeah, the influence of it weighs heavily over pretty much all action movies at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know. I tried to watch that Monkey Man, but I didn't get too far. It just felt kind of too Wick-centric for me.
I have not seen that one yet.
Well, have you seen, on this listing at least, the film Mary from 2024? It's an upcoming epic biblical film directed by DJ Caruso, starring Noah Cohen. I don't know who that is. Ida Taco. Is that really this person's name? That's got to be a joke, right? This is a Bart Simpson calling Mo the bartender thing. Ida Taco, you see this?
I do see this. I mean,
would you pronounce that differently or what?
No. I mean, I guess it's Ito Taco. Taco, maybe? It says he's an Israeli actor, so I don't know.
It just sounds like you're imploring me to have some Al Pastor. And it's Anthony Hopkins. It's cool. I'm not making fun of his name, but it seems strange to me. And Anthony Hopkins. This, as I mentioned, is a biblical movie, so I got no interest really, but it might make a bunch of money, right? People are into this Christianity stuff.
People do love Christianity. It looks like this is coming out straight to Netflix, so even if it, I mean, I don't know how Netflix makes money at this point. So yeah. Hopefully this doesn't cost them a bunch of money, because then they'll raise subscriptions by $1 again. But
Pastor Joel Osteen served as an exec producer. So your Netflix subscription is going to at least partially fund the televangelism of Joel Osteen.
You love to see it.
It's pretty cool.
That sounds terrible. Our subscription rates are definitely going to go up for Netflix. That's great.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of subscription rates going up, The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, presented by Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema. This is an animated movie that is, I think, a prequel. Well, yeah, probably definitely a prequel. It probably takes place several hundred or 1,000 years before Lord of the Rings. And it's about those guys from, the Riders of Rohan. It's about those guys. They got into some kind of war with somebody.
Is this actually sourced from any kind of Tolkien text, or they're just making up their own bullshit now?
I know that TV show, the Amazon Prime one, I think that's like very loosely based on some Tolkien stuff, but mostly isn't. I don't know about this one. Let's see. This is based on details from the appendices of Lord of the Rings and is set 183 years before Lord of the Rings.
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess I'm glad that Peter Jackson, Fran Walsh, and Philippa Boyens have this endless source of revenue that they can just tap into in the form of these movies. But do we need more of this? I don't know if we really need more of this.
Yeah, no, I mean, it seems like, Peter Jackson got it right with those 3 movies, and everything since then has not been great.
Yeah, I don't know. I like those, original Ralph Bakshi movies. Those are fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are good. I mean, I love Lord of the Rings, so I mean, I will probably give this a try, but I don't know if I have any hope for it.
Did you watch all of the new show, or did you tap out?
No, I haven't watched any of that new show.
I watched like an episode, and I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah, I hear pretty bad things about it. But what if I told you that the director of this movie, his first job in cinema was working on the TV show DuckTales? Would that make you more excited to see this?
That does make me more excited.
I thought so. I know you're a big Scrooge man.
He like directed some episodes, or he was like a showrunner or something.
He worked on the background animations.
Oh, okay. Less excited now.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to have gotten your hopes up, but he also directed some Ultraman episodes.
Okay, all right. Looks like he directed that, or co-directed that Blade Runner Black Lotus series. So that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, could be interesting, maybe.
Also coming out in December is The Last Showgirl. This is an American drama film directed by Gia Coppola, starring Pam Anderson, Jamie Lee Curtis, Dave Bautista, and some other people, Jason Schwartzman, a few other people that are less important than Dave Bautista. This is kind of one of those, character studies of a maybe somewhat broken older person. The premise is after a successful 30-year run, a seasoned showgirl must plan her future after the show closes abruptly. And I saw this trailer. I thought it looked interesting. I like that kind of culture of showgirls and old Las Vegas. I've never really seen any of those dance reviews or anything that would have showgirls, but you see them sometimes out on the strip, just walking around like handing out flyers or whatever, and it's always cool to see them. So if this could maybe illuminate my understanding of what the whole showgirl phenomenon was about, I think I would maybe be into that.
Yeah, I agree. Pam Anderson being the star of this is interesting because I feel like she hasn't done anything in Hollywood in many, many years.
Yeah.
So this is either kind of wacky stunt casting, or maybe she's got something in the tank that she wasn't allowed to show on, Baywatch, like some acting chops, hopefully. So interesting casting choices. I think that's probably the part that gets me. Well, that and Batista obviously is the part that gets me excited for this. It'd be interesting to see, what it is about this movie that brought Pamela Anderson back into the spotlight.
Well, Bowman, if you're looking to see the things that she couldn't show on Baywatch, you don't have to go all the way to The Last Showgirl,
I could watch Barbed Wire or that.
Exactly.
That Tommy Lee tape.
Yeah.
Seems interesting. I like showgirls in general. I've seen a couple of Vegas shows. None of them had traditional showgirls. I saw one that had it was that kind of a show, but they were sexy vampires. So they were wearing not feathers, basically, and then I've seen some Cirque shows. So I haven't seen like one of these like traditional showgirl shows before. So I'm intrigued.
Yeah, check out the trailer. I think it might be up your alley.
Okay, I'll give it a look. Also, we got a real 1-2 punch of garbage on the 20th. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. This is the third Sonic movie. Somehow these are like very, very popular. It stars Jim Carrey and James Marsden and Kristen Ritter and Keanu Reeves and Idris Elba. A lot of talented people for a cartoon about a fucking blue hedgehog that is very fast.
Yeah. People talk all the time about going back in time and buying a bunch of Apple stock.
Mm-hmm.
If I could go back in time and somehow bet money on the success of Sonic the Hedgehog as a franchise, I don't know how that would work, but I would like to make some bank off of that because I feel like, who saw this coming, right?
I 100% agree. Like, I mean, I know I'm biased because I grew up as a Super Nintendo man and not a Sega Genesis man, but like, there's just nothing there. He's just a hedgehog that's fast. And like all the time on the internet, I'm seeing people like posting all the side characters and like there's like 5 other different kinds of Sonics. There's like super dark, edgy Sonic, and there's like an echidna that boxes or something. It's just like, why is there so much lore for this hedgehog that runs?
Yeah, there's a fox that somehow is one of the Sonics when it's like, dude, you're a fucking fox. You shouldn't even be with these guys.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I mean, the games were fun. I enjoyed them. But I just didn't think that, I don't know, that they had that much cultural cachet that like there would be a new generation of kids that even knew who the fuck he was. But I guess it was the cartoon or something that kind of kept him in the zeitgeist, right? Kids today, prior to these movies, weren't playing Sonic games, were they?
I mean, I think that they still make Sonic games. Like maybe they didn't for like a long time.
Broken adults like us who are trying to relive their childhood.
Yeah, I think mostly that's probably the case. I don't know. I mean, he was in one of the Smash Brothers games. Maybe that's it. Because those games are actually weird. Popular.
Yeah. What's the other piece of shit coming out on the same day?
Mufasa, the Lion King.
Oh, yeah.
This is a prequel to the Lion King it's like live action-ish, sort of. Instead of being cute cartoons and like lively looking images, it looks lifelike, which I don't fucking understand why Disney does this. It's like so dull to look at lifelike animals acting. Make them stylish, please. But
yeah. I mean, especially when there are millions of hours of great nature documentaries available on like the BBC or anywhere else. Like go watch a Nat Geo documentary. You're going to see tons of cool animal footage of real ass animals that we didn't have to torture any fucking Korean animators to produce.
Yeah. I just don't get it. Why you go through all this trouble to give us
to make a simulacrum of reality that is like subpar. It is bizarre. I hate these. And yeah, it's a clear-cut choice on this day. If I'm going to the cinemas, it's going to be for Sonic.
Yeah, he has a nice character design to him. He looks heightened. He looks like heightened reality. He doesn't just look like uncanny valley versions of real life.
Yeah.
And also, who needs a fucking Lion King prequel, dude? Like, we got the whole story already. We don't need to know about like Simba's dad growing up. Who needs it?
Especially when it's not even based on a Tolkien text.
Not based on Tolkien. I mean, The Lion King is just Hamlet, and Shakespeare never sought to put together a prequel to explain Hamlet better. I mean, you can't one-up Shakespeare. You're not going to do better than Shakespeare here with this.
Yeah. Well, speaking of rehashes of dead properties, Nosferatu. But this is actually one that I'm excited about because this is going to be directed by Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers being the guy that did The Vivitch and The Lighthouse. And this stars Bill Skarsgård, Lily Rose Depp. All right.
Nah, she's good. She's good.
I don't know. And Willem Dafoe, excited about that. I'm assuming it's just going to be Nosferatu again. I don't know. I didn't see the trailer because I'm already sold on this movie. I don't really need to see any more.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen clips from the trailer, like GIFs and stuff that people have posted, but I'm for sure going to see this. I like Nosferatu's. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I would think it would have to be pretty close to the already existing Nosferatu story. I don't think that Robert Eggers is the kind of guy that would make a big swing with something like this and like change it around, but I guess we'll see. This will be good. I guarantee this will be a good movie.
Looks like they really shot over there in Transylvania, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
They didn't shoot in Montreal and try and pass it off as Transylvania.
Yeah. It's probably not all shot on a green screen. I assume. I would hope.
Yeah. That Eggers knows how to do stuff the legit way.
Yeah. Speaking of guys who know how to do things the legit way, the analog way, guys who would never play electric.
Oh, no. You're talking about somebody who plugged in?
Mm-hmm. Somebody who would never plug in.
Okay. Hopefully.
Yeah. This is the Bob Dylan movie, A Complete Unknown, directed by James Mangold, starring Chalamet, Edward Norton, Elle Fanning, and the rest.
Yeah, the rest, including Scoot McNairy, who I feel like, is this the third time I've seen his name in this month? I think it is.
It could be, yeah.
He's in Night Bitch and I think something else.
Yeah, I saw this trailer. I think I would be interested in watching a Bob Dylan movie. Like I'm not like, he's not like one of my main guys, but I like Bob Dylan, especially that early stuff. So I would probably watch this, but in the trailer, I noticed, like I saw it on the big screen, so like everything was amplified. I noticed that Timothy Chalamet has like really strange Nosferatu fingernails in the movie. So now I'm like kind of grossed out and I don't want to see it.
It's weird.
That could be weird of me, but like they're like really long. Like they look like Lopan from Big Trouble's fingernails. Like it was like really off-putting to me.
I fear that we might be reaching oversaturation with Chalamet.
He's in everything.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying that he's good in this role, but I also haven't seen that trailer, so I don't know, what the portrayal looks like. But just based on this photo, like, I could kind of see him pulling it off, but I could also see him really rubbing me the wrong way for a couple hours if he doesn't nail it. I almost feel like I don't want any more biopics about musicians, especially ones that are like still living or ones that there is so much documentary footage of already. It's like, I don't know. What is there to gain from this that I couldn't get from prior existing documentaries?
Yeah. And also it's like, I mean, I think we have just like too many of these. Like there are certain ones that make a lot of sense. Like, there are dudes who led pretty interesting lives that were musicians. Like, I don't know.
There's tons of them. And I mean, I love Dylan, but I just feel like it's such a overexplored topic. Like, give me a Van Dyke's Parks, type movie or something, like somebody who's more like, I don't know, a little bit less overexposed.
Yeah. And I don't know a lot about like dude's life, but like the whole movie just seems to like circle around the idea that like him and I think it's Joan Baez like had a rocky relationship. And like, if that's all the movie's about, like who gives a shit? Like, it's like at least Jim Morrison got arrested. Like, that's cool. Let's make a movie about that. That's interesting. But
they already made that movie.
Well, yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'll probably see it.
It's, I don't know. I feel like it has the potential to be very good based on all of the talent involved. Also, this director, James Mangold, what has he done?
He did Walk the Line.
But his last movie was that terrible Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, yeah, that's very bad.
So I don't know. But he also did Logan, which I liked.
Yeah, he did Logan, Walk the Line, Girl Interrupted, Copland, which is very good. So he's done some good stuff out there.
All right. Coming out at the end of the month is Baby Girl. This is the movie that Nicole Kidman keeps talking about as the most orgasmic experience of her life filming this movie. Reportedly, she had to keep stopping the shooting to pause her nonstop orgasms that she was experiencing while filming this. If headlines are to be believed. Antonio Banderas is in this. I kind of like him.
Yeah.
And I think it's about Nicole Kidman is like the boss of a younger dude who she's getting frisky with, I guess, based on the trailer. I don't know. Supposedly a very horny-ass movie. And I like Nicole Kidman, so I might check this out. We'll see.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for this somewhat recently. And yeah, it looks very horny. It's like some very 50 Shades of Grey influenced stuff, I think. It's got that feel to it where it's like some sort of kinky pervert stuff going on.
Yeah.
So count me in. Anytime a pervert movie comes to my local Cineplex, I'm in.
It's going to be a horny Christmas for you then.
I hope so. I really do. I'm going to go. I'm going to see.
Motherfucker.
I'm going to do a double feature of Nosferatu and Baby Girl and have a whole day of it.
What, do you specialize in porn?
And then A Complete Unknown, I probably won't watch that the same day. I'll probably get it later on tape, videotape.
Now tell me, who was the source of this videotape?
So Nosferatu is your number one pick for the month?
Yeah, I think so. If I'm only picking one, it's going to be for Drac. And hopefully we find out why they're fighting Dracula, for God's sakes.
I hope to finally find this out, yeah. I would say that's probably my number one pick. My number two pick is werewolves. So I'm very happy that we're going into a month here with vampires and werewolves.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's even a night pitch in there for you.
Yeah, there's a lot going on if you're into the classic monsters.
Yeah.
And Bob Dylan's Nosferatu ass fingernails too. So, all right, that's the movie preview. What are you guys out there listening in Junk Food Dinnerland, Junk Food Supperland? What are you guys going to see? Send us a voicemail. Call us up. 347-746-JUNK. That's 347-746-5865. We don't have any this week. Probably because we don't have any voicemails this week. I assume everybody's catching up and listening to the 30 episodes we just dropped on the feed. So catch up and leave us a voicemail, I guess.
And Telly Savalas sounds very disappointed.
He does sound disappointed. So I guess that wraps that up. I think we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about Snake Eyes, the Brian De Palma movie. So stick around.
Watch carefully. Snake Eyes is a riveting, fast-paced mystery. Nicolas Cage delivers a high-voltage performance. He is electrifying, a heart-pounding thriller filled with excitement.
It was a phantom punch!
This is classic De Palma. Well acted and stylish. It will leave you breathless.
They missed him with that second shot. Missed you.
Nicolas Cage.
I'm not gonna let you kill her. Get out of the way!
Snake Eyes, rated R, starts Friday.
Welcome back to Junk Food Supper. The movie tonight is Snake Eyes, a 1998 movie directed by the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the best director that ever lived, Brian De Palma. This film was written by, the screenplay was written by a guy named David Koepp, who also wrote Spider-Man.
The penis, Parker!
From 2002, the Sam Raimi movie. And Jurassic Park, some Indiana Jones movies. He wrote a couple of De Palma movies before this, Mission Impossible and Carlito's Way. A ton of stuff. Very, very successful screenwriter. The story, he worked on the story with De Palma. So De Palma was instrumental in shaping it from the beginning. This kind of came on the heels of Brian De Palma's Mission Impossible success. So I think studios were giving him a ton of money to make that De Palma magic happen. This movie had a very large budget. I think it was like 75 million or something like that.
A franchise which sadly I feel like will outlast De Palma's own career, right? Like that guy's not ever getting back near that franchise again.
That is true. I think he didn't want to do the sequel. I think he was offered the sequel, and he's a very grumpy old man and fights with Hollywood a lot. So I think he just didn't want to deal with another big franchise blockbuster movie like that. So he was happy to take the consolation prize of $70 million to make this movie with Nicolas Cage instead. I think is kind of how that went.
Which career-wise, I guess in retrospect, was absolutely the wrong decision, right?
Yeah, probably.
You have to imagine Mission Impossible 2, no matter like how good or bad it would be, it was going to be a success, with Tom Cruise and with the success of the first movie. So, I mean, would have been an easy home run for the guy.
Yeah, true. I think he did get back in the blockbuster saddle, I think, after this. I think he made Mission to Mars, which is like a huge science fiction, big budget thing after this that I don't think did that well. So yeah, I think De Palma's, I think he doesn't like success sometimes. Like, it seems like, yeah, anytime he like does something big and gets back in Hollywood's good graces, then he's like immediately rushes out to do something very personal that ends up bombing. Is like kind of what he does. I feel like he self-sabotages maybe, or maybe he just hates Hollywood executives so much that he just runs away from them and does something independent after making big successes a lot of the time. But I don't know. He's a weird guy. But yeah, he maybe should have made Mission Impossible too. But yeah, so this movie is what he made instead. He got Nicolas Cage, who was a very popular guy at the time. I think he was Oscar nominated or Oscar winning or whatever around this time.
Yeah. And also just a big movie star in terms of, I think Con Air had come out kind of shortly before this, and The Rock maybe.
I think so, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, that was like his big hot streak, is like those movies. Let's see. Yeah, he made City of Angels right before this, which is a huge hit. Face Off before that. Con Air, The Rock, and then Leaving Las Vegas. So this was like undoubtedly his kind of most mainstream successful era as well.
Kind of interesting that Nic Cage is coming off of a John Woo movie to start filming a De Palma movie. Meanwhile, Mission Impossible is doing the inverse, right?
True. Oddly enough, yeah. Yeah, and he'd continue on and do some more successful stuff after that, obviously. Nicolas Cage in this movie plays a character by the name of Rick Santoro, who is a local detective in Atlantic City who has been invited to a big boxing match by his friend Gary Sinise, who plays Kevin Dunn, who is a big high-ranking guy in the military. And while they're at this boxing match, an assassination occurs on the what's his name? He's like the Department of Justice guy.
I think it's Department of Defense guy.
There you go, Department of Defense. He's assassinated, so they lock down the stadium, and they get to work trying to solve the mystery of who the assassins are. I'm sure we'll spoil it at some point. I won't spoil it now, but watch this.
Don't worry, because the trailer spoils everything about this movie.
Is that true?
Yeah, I watched the trailer immediately after watching the movie, just kind of curious, like, because, I remember watching this, but I didn't remember having seen a trailer, when I was a kid leading up to it. And yeah, it's wild. It spoils everybody that's involved, basically. It's not just the one guy, but it spoils everything.
Okay. Well, I probably will not play that trailer before the movie. Then I'll see what I can do about that. That's crazy. Because it is a big. I mean, it's not revealed it's not like a Scooby Doo episode where it's like the last scene is the reveal. I mean, it happens about midway through. But
Yeah, it's 45 minutes in. I clocked it, and then kind of his accomplices are revealed maybe another like 10, 15 minutes later. But all of that is in second one of the trailer.
That's wild. Because
they don't even present it as any kind of mystery in the trailer. It's kind of like, here's your hero, here's the villain. This movie is going to be a cat and mouse game between these two, so come watch it. And then you have to imagine people who went to the cinemas are just thinking, like, I already know who the bad guy is. Like, why are you dragging the reveal for so long?
And it's things like this is why Brian De Palma doesn't like making big studio franchise movies. This kind of bullshit, ruining his movies in the trailers.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. That's pretty wild. This movie starts out with a marvelous, like 15-minute long shot of Nicolas Cage walking around what was at the time the Trump Taj Mahal and is no longer that. Some other casino chain bought it.
I think it's the Hard Rock now.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And he's just full on Nic Caging it up during this. And I love this opening sequence, obviously. De Palma kind of went through a phase, like kind of late in his career, mid to late. Like this movie, Raising Cain, Carlito's Way, where he just like would show off for like no reason. Like there's no good reason to just start your movie off with a 15-minute long take. De Palma's a show off and he's a fancy pants. So he does it. And that's why I love him.
I think he was showing off all the way back, in the early days as well. Like Blowout's got those really long shots, like the one with the fireworks and then that spinning shot, when he's listening to the recordings.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, like he's done stuff like this his whole career. Like even in Sisters, there's like a really long shot and like split screen stuff. But like in this, it's like it almost feels like gratuitous. Like in Blowout and stuff, it's like kind of seamless. Like it's like because like the way that it integrates like these fancy shots, like the way that they're used. Like in that one shot, especially where like the camera is circling around while John Travolta's like looking for his stolen tapes. It's like you're caught up in the emotion of it. So you kind of don't even know that you're seeing some crazy ass camera stuff. But in this, and like especially Raising Cain, like I feel like he wants you to notice he's doing some crazy ass camera stuff. Like it's just like gratuitous. He's just like, look at me. He's the opening of Strange Darling announcing that it was shot on 35 millimeter. Like that's what he's doing here. And I love it. Also, and I mean, it does play into the story too. It's not like totally gratuitous. Like the way that the movie opens is we're seeing a newscast of somebody announcing that there's a big hurricane coming. And then the camera pulls out to reveal that the camera we were looking through isn't the news camera, but it was a camera. This is hard to explain, but our camera, the movie camera, was looking at a monitor. So it pulls away from that and then shows us a different monitor. And on that monitor is Nicolas Cage. So then we think he's on TV in a different location because that's what we were just shown. But it turns out he's actually in that location and he walks into frame from being on TV. And this is kind of hard to explain, but it really sets you off like 20 seconds into the movie, lets you know, like, don't trust point of views. Like be mindful of what you're watching. The things you're seeing might not be where they are or what they seem to be. And that's what this whole movie is about. And
yeah, it really sets up the fact that later on they're going to do, these extended Rashomon type things where we get to revisit something that we already saw before and we thought that we knew what happened, and now we're seeing it from another character's point of view.
yeah, it's really great. It sets up all that stuff that you just mentioned about like seeing things from different characters' point of views. There's also a lot of stuff in here about like just surveillance in general and like placement of cameras and things like that. Yeah, so it's all kind of spelled out for you at the beginning here. This long shot is great. I think this is the only thing that they actually filmed at the Trump Taj Mahal is the scene. I think everything else was done on sound stages and stuff later. It's like the big boxing scene. And it's great. Masterpiece, I would say. You like this big long shot?
Yeah, I love it.
I knew it. I think there are a couple of secret cuts in there, but that's fine. We won't talk about those secret cuts. And yeah, then there's the big long shot. Pretty much ends, I think, when the assassination happens, or at least a little bit before it. That's when we're introduced to Carla Gugino from Son-in-Law and a bunch of other things. She's there. She's kind of a suspect. She's talking to the secretary before he's assassinated. Gary Sinise plays Nic Cage's friend, who he's introduced by, he's like telling Nic Cage to quit his job as a detective and come work in Washington, clean up his act, because turns out he's a dirty cop. And he's telling him, get yourself away from this temptation in Atlantic City and stop being a dirty cop. Which I love. I love that Nic Cage is like very morally ambiguous in this movie. He's not a good guy. Like, he does good things, but he does them for very selfish reasons all through this. Like, he's a very like kind of old-timey noir character. And I like the way he plays it. I'll be honest with you, Sean. I like Nic Cage in this. It's not often that I say that kind of thing, but I like him in this.
He's got the perfect energy. If you were casting for a, like a Atlantic City police detective who's like a little bit crooked, I mean, he's the perfect casting, I think, right?
Yeah. And he's like also like very flashy. Like, he wears like flashy clothes, and like he really wants everybody to know he's the center of attention.
It makes sense that he would be at these boxing matches probably every week, Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, he sells it. He's great in this. And then later on, like when things kind of like start falling in around him and he has to play it more serious, I think all that stuff works. Like, he kind of does the De Palma protagonist thing of kind of becoming a little unhinged from anxiety and from suspense and everything, and he plays that stuff well. There's a lot of cool split diopter shots in this that I liked a lot, especially in the boxing ring. There's a boxer who tells his side of the story at some point in this movie, and it's really great. Like, when people are telling their versions of the stories to the detectives, like a lot of times it'll go into like POV mode, like like Halloween,
Yeah,
like that kind of stuff. Like, it's a giallo all of a sudden.
I like how when they do the retellings, at least to my memory, I don't think that they reuse any footage. Like, it's not, I feel like in a lot of cases, they'll do a thing where it's like 75% the footage that we already seen, but then they'll cut in some, new shots that will be revealing. But this stuff felt like it was all, like you're saying, like directly from their point of view, which was cool.
Yeah. I think, I'd be surprised if they reuse anything. Cause it is like all from their points of view. So, and like, you get to see a lot of stuff like tie together, and, like there'll be like shots where like somebody's like running through a hallway and you're like, why is that person running around? And then you get it from somebody else's perspective and it makes total sense later on. Stuff like that. It's really fun. When the boxer's telling his story too, there's this really great shot where it's like all from his point of view. And then he looks into a mirror. And so then we see him in the mirror, but then the point of view moves outside of him. and it goes back to being a normal shot because he's done telling his story. And so we're not getting his first person point of view anymore. We're getting like the objective third person point of view. And that kind of De Palma trickery makes me weak in the knees. I just love it so much. But yeah, so I don't know. I like this movie a lot. When I was going through my big De Palma awakening and discovering that he's my favorite director, I watched this and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good De Palma. It's not the best. It's, far from the worst. It's pretty good. But outside of the very underwhelming anticlimactic ending, I would put this up there with like some of his best stuff. I think it's really great. And then, I mean, I guess we'll talk about the ending because the studio kind of took a lot out of it. Outside of that, I think this is wonderful. What do you think about this, Sean?
Yeah, this is a movie that I've got a lot of affection for. I think probably a big part of that is, when it came out, I was just kind of exactly primed for this movie. I didn't get out to theaters for it, but I remember renting it pretty shortly after it hit home video, and watching it with my friends and really enjoying it. We all liked Nic Cage at the time. We liked The Rock and Con Air, and I think this was probably the first time that I noticed that a movie was a De Palma movie. Like, I had seen Mission Impossible and I had seen Carrie like long before that, but it wasn't a name that I was like on the lookout for or anything like that until this movie. And his name was very much a big part of the marketing, I think. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the guy that made that Mission Impossible and made Carrie, and everybody says is one of the the great directors that I should know. So I remember being hyped for those reasons, being hyped because Gary Sinise was in this, and as you know, I grew up as something of a Stephen Kingsman, and the Stand miniseries on TV was a big deal for me as a kid, and I loved Gary Sinise in it, and loved him to the point that I actually found Forrest Gump to be a mostly watchable experience as a kid. And I think he was in Apollo 13 before this, maybe. And yeah, he was just an actor that I really liked watching at this time.
Yeah. He's also a very nice guy. I met him at work for work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last year or something. He came out here and he's got a band and they performed at the military base out here and I got to interview him. He's very nice, super nice guy.
Yeah, it seems like he would be a cool dude. And this also was, the heyday of when boxing was exciting. I had a lot of fond memories of watching the big boxing pay-per-views with friends or family in the 90s. And, I was also getting into Hitchcock around this time, and people are telling me that De Palma's, our generation's Hitchcock or whatever. And so there was a million reasons for me to be excited for this. Oh, actually, also, I think I was obsessed with the JFK assassination as a kid. And, I had seen the JFK movie multiple times. And here was a movie that seemed to promise a more fun take on a assassination, rather than it being a national tragedy. Maybe it's just a local tragedy with some fun movie making around it. And yeah, so I was hyped for this. I remember renting it, remember really enjoying it. I've come back to it a few times as an adult and have really enjoyed it each time that I've come back to it, this time included. I love how effortlessly the movie sets up, the inciting incident and all of these protagonists. I think it's only like within 10 to 15 minutes and the gunshot's already gone off. So it's very economical in that way. And, on top of all the, on top of the all in one place, all in one night hook, I feel like there's some very specifically nice placemaking here for this movie, like little details like this being the final night at this arena before it's going to be demolished, that it's the night of a very big hurricane in Atlantic City. Give it this real memorable feeling. It does have that kind of big event feel.
Yeah, for sure. Especially some of the stuff they do with the hurricane, like, there'll be shots like where they're inside the stadium and the camera will be looking out, like in the background, there's a window and like there's heavy rain and like they cut to like the journalist who's like outside a few times. And like, yeah, they really went crazy letting you know that a hurricane's coming.
Yeah.
Which makes it sad that
the ending got screwed up.
that they screwed up the ending. Which,
but even not knowing that, because I didn't know about the aborted ending. I think probably until this week, maybe, and reading it on Wikipedia, it didn't really ring a bell. But even if you don't know that, I think just having those little cutaways to the news report on the hurricane actually add to the movie. It makes it a more memorable experience overall. And it's kind of nostalgic, actually, in a way, because we don't really consume TV in this way anymore, where things are getting interrupted by live weather updates. And so it's kind of nice to see that,
Yeah, it does add some nice flavor, like, to what's going on, and just like an extra added layer of like kind of tension and dread. But yeah, like, I think once you know about the botched ending, then it's like kind of hard to to ignore that the whole movie leads up to one thing that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Oh well.
But I mean, it's still good. Like it's
still fun, and it's still a fun mystery. I mean, I guess this is not the most perfectly constructed mystery, and maybe it's not even trying to be a mystery, I guess. According to De Palma, that was not really his focus. But I do like to look at this as kind of a murder mystery movie, and I love murder mysteries. It's a genre that I feel like we should have more of. I feel like they can't be that expensive to make. You don't necessarily need the kind of ending that De Palma wanted for this movie to have an effective murder mystery, and all you really need is a good script and some charming actors. And it feels like, the guys that are writing these murder mystery books are just cranking them out year after year. So you'd expect to have more of these, but I feel like they're kind of a rarity. A real solid murder mystery.
They're coming back a little bit with those Glass Onions and the Hercule Poirot movies, but even with those two franchises, like, it doesn't feel like that's it. Basically, it's just those two things.
Yeah, it's a shame, because for my money, like, I think maybe the most entertaining thing you can do with a couple of actors is, put them in a room and have one of them being trying to investigate whether or not the other guy could be the murderer. Like, I love that conceit. I love being an audience member who's trying to figure it out, alongside the detective of the story. And it's put to good use, I think, in the first half of this movie, especially because this is a very good cast. I think Nic Cage is really good in this, but there's also some great actors in small roles. Luis Guzman is in this very briefly. I kind of wonder if he had maybe a bigger role at some point that got cut down, but it was fun to see him in this. I also really liked the actor Kevin Dunn in the role of Lou, the color commentator guy who's wearing like the tuxedo. It is kind of confusing because Gary Sinise's character is named Kevin Dunn. I don't know what happened there. Did you notice that?
I did, yeah. I feel like maybe they wrote that character's name before hiring that guy and then just didn't feel like changing it or something. But it is weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. I also did enjoy that boxer guy that you mentioned, who we get his point of view. That actor is Stan Shaw, who played Big Dipper Brown in the first Rocky movie, but he's cool. I guess the main problem with this movie is the common complaint that I think most people on the internet seem to have, which is it reveals the killer probably a little bit too early. I think you could have maybe milked more out of this, untangling the conspiracy sort of angle to the plot line. But they, about halfway through the movie, kind of exhaust that. And then it becomes kind of a cat and mouse from there. And maybe it was too early to make that transition. So I don't think it's a perfect movie, but it's one that I'm always going to love and find to be very watchable. It's from a technical, filmmaking perspective, absent of some script, quibbles that I might have. It looks and sounds great. It's a really nicely crafted movie, as you would expect from De Palma, and all the actors do a really good job. And so I'm willing to, look past the fact that as a payoff, the reveal is maybe not the best, and then how they, capture the bad guy there with the ambulance going out of control is pretty dumb. But on the whole, I don't know. It's a fun night at the arena, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that. I do like that they reveal the perpetrator halfway through, because then you get to have this whole stretch of the movie where like we know who did it, but Nicolas Cage doesn't. And so like we're kind of like wondering what Nicolas Cage is going to do when he finds out. Because I mean, it could go either way. Like he could want to arrest this guy, or he could want to be in on it with him because he's a crooked cop. And so I like that. I like kind of having that tension, that new tension in kind of like the second half of the movie, or not even the second half, maybe just act 2. And then it kind of moves on to a different thing. But I kind of like that.
Yeah. And I think even when we do know who the primary villain is, like this movie feels like it kind of leaves a door open for anybody else to flip at any point. Like it doesn't happen that the damsel in distress turns out to also be in on the job, but you get the feeling at a few points like, oh, they could have made that flip. And so it's not like the movie is absent of all tension.
Yeah, for sure. Also, Carla Gugino is very good in this. She's good in everything, but we haven't really talked about her. So I just wanted to point out that she's good in this.
Yeah, she is.
Well, all right.
Did you enjoy that funny indoor blimp thing that they have to strap a camera to in this movie? Because this is pre-drone technology.
Yeah. I like that big eyeball blimp drone thing. That thing's fun.
Yeah.
There's a couple of scenes where like they're walking. Nicolas Cage and Carla Gugino are like walking through some of the hotel rooms, and the camera goes above the rooms and pans over like 3 or 4 different hotel rooms, showing us what's going inside all of them. And that's another real show-offy move that I liked a lot. And there's something else. I don't know. The whole movie's great. I just love it. There's a scene where Carla Gugino steals a t-shirt, like very obviously. And I didn't know how she got away with it, because she was very obviously stealing a t-shirt in front of a lot of people. So that was the part that I found most hard to believe in this movie, I guess. But good for her for stealing that t-shirt. But yeah, I love this movie. I'm glad to hear you like it.
So the original ending, I guess, would have involved a massive tidal wave going through the casino. But that was cut, I guess, due to budgetary concerns.
Yeah, the hurricane they talk about the whole time would have resulted in like the flooding of the casino floor. And this being 1998, I imagine some of that would have been digital, but I imagine mostly they probably would have just had to create a replica of a casino floor and then fill it with water, which is probably very expensive. So that got cut. So we have, instead of this big, like it was envisioned to be like sort of an act of God kind of a thing happening, and Sodom and Gomorrah-ing this den of sin, this Atlantic City thing. We just get kind of an anticlimactic kind of a shootout, kind of not even a shootout really, but something a little bit more cliche, which is kind of a shame, but what can you do?
Especially given all of the established foreshadowing. I mean, Atlantic City, it was right there in the name. I expected that ocean to be on top of the city.
Exactly.
Failed to deliver that.
Yeah. And then, I don't want to spoil it necessarily, but like the very end of this movie, with what happens with Nic Cage is like just such a funny punchline too. Like there's this like epilogue that shows you what happens to him, and it's like so good. I just love it. But it's like a funny irony that it ends on. But I guess that's Snake Eyes.
Yeah. And I guess we'll find out now whether or not you will love the movie that we'll be reviewing next week.
I'm curious to find out.
Let me see if you can guess what it will be.
Okay.
I mean, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay,
just freeball it. You could ask questions.
Okay, I'm just going to guess. Is it the one that
the Jet Li movie?
Yeah.
What a weird pick. No, it's not the one Jet Li movie.
Then I don't.
It's also not the black and white Mexican adventure to the center of the earth movie that I think, was it Portland Paul or was it Peter from Portland posted in our Discord? One of the Portland P's.
Okay.
It's not that. No.
Is it this Carla Gugino movie, The Center of the World from 2001?
No. But I wouldn't be too shocked if Carla Gugino, or however the hell you say it, is in this. Gugino? Gugino?
I don't know if that first G is a hard G or a soft G. So
what are we doing? Is Gugino?
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 I think it might be Gugino. I think maybe we need an Italian to call in and settle this for us.
She might be in this movie. It's a 1996 film, so I think she was working.
Okay, 1996, is it? Let me consult Letterboxd and find all the movies from 1996.
Sort of a sci-fi comedy.
A sci-fi comedy. Let me narrow it down to just the science fiction movies. That'll help. Independence Day.
It's also sort of a buddy cop movie.
It can't be Star Trek First Contact. We already did that one on the show.
It was also directed by Jonathan Butel. I think that's maybe how you say his name. Betul? I don't know. Gugino?
Is it The Chicken from Outer Space?
It's Theodore Rex, starring Whoopi Goldberg and a dinosaur.
Oh my goodness, for real?
Yeah, let's do it. Right?
All right.
Why not?
I've never seen this. I've always wanted to see it.
Yeah, same. It's one of those legendarily bad-looking movies that I laughed at the video store in 1996, but never actually took the time to rent.
Yeah, I think there's some craziness with this movie. Like, I think Whoopi Goldberg had to pay like millions of dollars to like try to get out of her contract because she didn't want to be in this movie or something like that. Like, there's some kind of crazy behind the scenes nonsense happened with this movie.
Well, I think she failed to avoid making it because, as far as I know, they made it and she's in
it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I've been wanting to see this. This sounds good to me.
All right. Cool. So that'll be next week. Theodore Rex, a 1995 or 96, depending on who you ask, buddy cop sci-fi comedy film.
Perfect. Well,
it was the most expensive direct-to-video film ever made at the time of release.
Okay. Probably because they had all those, legal fees because people were suing to get out of making the movie.
Probably. Wow, $33.5 million.
That is wild.
It's a big budget for this dinosaur buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So until next week, send us some voicemails at 347-746-JUNK or go to facebook.com/junkfoodinner and hit the call now button. Let us know what you've been up to. Let us know what you're doing for Thanksgiving. Let us know if you're seeing werewolves and vampire movies next month, all that kind of stuff. Find us in the Discord, the link to which is probably on the Facebook somewhere. But if you go to patreon.com/junkfoodinner and you sign up for, I think, any amount, even $1 a month, and you connect your Discord account to Patreon, you'll automatically just be sent right to our Discord, which is a very helpful thing. Very easy. Very helpful. Or just message one of us. We'll send you the link. It's easy that way too. Find that Patreon, that aforementioned Patreon, and kick us a few dollars if you've got a couple of dollars. Let us know that you want us to have a Merry Christmas by giving us the gift of a couple of dollars. By doing so, you can get all kinds of perks. You can get bonus episodes. We've got like literally hundreds of bonus episodes up there at this point. We don't do them often anymore. We're taking a break after watching all those Twin Peakses, but I think there's like 120 of them or so up there. So you can enjoy those for just a few dollars. I guess that's everything. So until next week, this is Parker for Sean saying thanks for having fun.
What's up, Penis Parker?